Do you?
It doesn't say that.
It does. It does. Look, it doesn't.
It
doesn't
say that in the Bible.
It does.
You didn't want to join in,
It says.
You didn't want to join in. You're either in or you're out.
Excuse me. Can you go to him?
No, he's coming to me.
No. I'm speaking here.
No, it's not your land. You're in that spot.
I'm not going to speak to you, sir.
Are these your cameras? Are these your cameras?
You can see, nice guy. You want to learn. You want to have a nice discussion.
We want to have rally.
Or you're just here for entertainment.
Ali Diva.
Tell me to ask.
The guy is
saying at the end day.
no problem. You can talk about end of day.
Everybody will be Islamic.
No, it doesn't. It's for entertainment. I can speak to you anyway. Khalas, I deal with them. No, you come this side. No, brother. If you want to ask me, come this side. Yeah, come this side.
The Bible says.
Smiling at you.
You want to speak to me on half people there? Yeah, come on. What's your name? Dave, you know me. Nice. I don't know you know. Dave. Shamsi.
You know it says Daw al-Hab and Daw al-Islam.
Treaty, yes. It's in the Quran.
Say there's more than that.
Yes, in the Quran.
Where?
In the Quran, so Tawbah. Give me the Quran.
Yeah, please.
Give me the Quran, so Tawbah. How about those who have treaty?
No, I'm interested.
Anyway, so
that's what I thought you should do it on there because you were adding to what you were saying.
But the point here, there, both of them are shouting. They're not interested to learn.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm interested.
You want to learn? No problem. Go to Tawbah.
Yeah, go on. What are we looking for?
Or even so Tawbah, you go to Nisa. Look at Nisa.
Yeah, I thought that would help people.
Yeah, no problem.
Sometimes you say things from the Quran and people don't know. People can say, "Oh, is that real? Is that not real?" And everybody learns the Quran from Tommy fucking Robinson. That's people learn from the Quran from.
And that's the problem with the people.
Exactly, and that's what they're learning. So
if we go to chapter.
Oh, you got one.
Yeah, I got one. To show you that in Islam,
there's more than Daw al-Hab and Daw
al-Harmin is but there is a land off which have treaty with them.
Yes.
If you have treaty with them, you keep the treaty. You're not allowed to fight them.
And you can show me.
Yeah. Without any doubt.
Because you're not working.
My one is a bit slow.
Yeah. So then, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say?
What do they call it? Chapter. And go on.
Because like, you know, if everyone is learning, it's like the BBC say war, terror. And Jim Chowdhury, what you got to say about this? It's like, oh my God, all you lot. Like,
yeah, he's the last person to speak about it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what everyone learns from. Everyone learns Islam from Tommy Robinson.
That's the problem.
Jada, Lauren Southern, and that little midget, that little clown. Killing innocent Palestinians. That little clown.
Give us a class, man.
I got 200,000 extra subscribers.
Yeah, no, I've seen you for a lot of times talking, but we never debated. I used to film Hamza in Finsbury Park. I remember Hamza. I filmed him.
You used to film him?
Yeah, 3 years. Well, 1 year before he got arrested, and then another 2 years with his passport. Yeah.
I can't get it here.
Arabic keyboard?
No, not this one. No, this one's talking about. You have Arabic keyboard.
While he's shouting, oh, Tommy's having a Sunday. Tommy's going holiday with his family. While you are here shouting, oh, Tommy, I shout as well. When I see white pedophiles raping little kids, I go, oh, Tommy, where are you? This is what I say. Tommy's nowhere to be found. When a terrorist attack happens, it's not Muslim. I say the same. Oh, Tommy, where are you? This is what I say.
If you ignored him, no, listen.
He got exposed.
I'm going to say one thing about Tommy.
He went to Piers Morgan's show. This Quran says there's 113 verses to kill the infidel. Fam, I challenged him. I caught him at the magistrate's court. He was panicking. Asked him for 1 hour. 1 hour. For 1 hour, 20 times. I go, Tommy, show me one verse that says kill innocent people. Let's talk about Aisha. Let's talk about the Battle of Khaybar.
Sorry, go on. Oh, you've got it?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it. So these verses speaking about Allah telling us that if you have a contract with the country, you have to fulfill it. You see, so we have a British And Saudi, Algeria, by the way, Morocco, we have a contract. Islamically, you're not allowed to break the contract. So now, if a British man you're not allowed to start it. If you're gonna start it, you have to tell them openly. Listen, I don't want to keep the contract with you anymore because you've been doing something which goes against me. So I want to break it. But you're not allowed to break it without telling them beforehand. That's called, you know, what Muhammad said.
But do you believe that Islam will one day dominate the world?
Islam will dominate the world in a way, I don't know, when Jesus come back, that's what we believe, yeah.
When Jesus
the end of the time.
When Jesus come back. Like when Christians saying about with Jesus.
Yeah.
Well,
Christianity. That's what I was saying.
He's going to put his feet on the Mount of Olives or something. And,
yeah, there's a hadith, but I don't know about the most college. But sorry, but he's going to look for it. Yeah.
But you're not allowed to. So there's more than just two
safari
or priests like that. Because you know what?
We're the first one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said fulfill the contract. We have Ufu bil Adi, yeah. He's going to look. The point here is, look, David, yeah? Well, I like to have a nice discussion with people like him. But people like him over there, that's what I'm like, they're just shouting.
We don't understand where. Oh,
It becomes a shouting match instead of having
not my style.
Yeah. So I want people to learn. You can teach me something, and I can teach you something.
Yeah,
and you can go home and think about it. That's the best way. That's for me shouting and the other person shouting. Many times happens Speaker's Corner. Online doesn't look nice. We look like crazy people.
People think it's funny to watch that.
Yeah, but I'm not here for entertainment though.
You can't take it too seriously, can you?
No. Anyways, brother, look. So in the day of resurrection, yes, we believe when Jesus come back.
Let me write it down, the verses that you're talking about.
Yeah, the brother is going to
where I can find it.
You guys he was running away like a coward. I said to him, let's meet this weekend.
Yeah, so basically the brother is mentioning good point.
Where is it?
I believe it's Al-Ma'idah, Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter. Yeah, I will.
What do I look at?
Chapter.
Just write something in there and I'll look out when I get home.
Chapter.
Who saw that video?
Because you know they say
chapter of Ma'idah. So this one is in the beginning. The brother mentioned good principles. The Quran did not just drop to us like that. The Quran was given to Prophet Muhammad. So there is a way to understand the Quran. Even Prophet Muhammad in his time, he had what? Treaty with the kuffar. And he never said go take over the country. Because if you have treaty with them, khalas, treaty, peace treaty. For example, I have even something that I can give you, which is a nice website called Against Extremism. Okay, you can read it.
Yeah, because you know everyone learns it from watching that fitna thing. That guy.
Yeah, Islam Against Extremism. This one of our teacher is a beautiful website. You can read the book. It's even as Islam.
Is that a gift? I'll bring it back for you. Yeah?
No, take it. It's a gift.
Oh, thanks very much. Thank you.
That's what this one just explains to you the Islam from the point of view from the Orthodox.
Yeah, because that was the difference between like Hamza and Chowdhury as well. Hamza was all about fighting for Muslim in Islam in Muslim land. Like whereas Chowdhury was like. The black flag of Islam's going to fly across down. You know what I mean? It's like but both Hamza was much more along your lines.
But no.
Knew about
no, in the 90s we used to war against Hamza, Abu Hamza.
Against him?
Yes. Abu Hamza is not. Abu Hamza used to support the killing of us in Algeria. Abu Hamza and Abu Qatada.
He did, but he changed his mind when he realised the GIA when the GIA were killing just anybody.
Yeah, no, Abu Qatada said
fatwa because he used to support that Al-Hamza magazine, didn't he?
No, yeah, but so I'm saying Abu Qatada gave fatwa.
Yeah, he did.
Abu Qatada gave fatwa. Sorry,
did change.
But hear me out, watch this.
Go on.
So if we have a terrorist in Britain, are promoting the killing of Algerians, shooting the babies, how come the British government never stopped them?
Yeah, well, this is what the French government said as well. They called it. That's where the name Londonistan come from, wasn't it? The French, because they were planning. The French believed that they were planning attacks on the French underground in Finsbury Park. That's what he believes.
But even the French people, even some of the heads of the Khawarij, but those who Khawarij mean those who rebel and the terrorist group. We call them Khawarij. They came to France, and France, likewise, the government said we're not giving them back to you Algerians because of human rights, but they are terrorists. So my point here, I want to clarify and make it clear up that we used to war against the terrorists in the 90s.
Yes.
However, now you see British people and the French people claiming it's Islam. when they were killing us and killing our children, our women. No one spoke against them. We speak against them. Does Islam teach us? Forget it. See, human rights is for them, but when it's not for them, forget human rights.
I mean, I don't know if he's being in charge, but outside, when they were outside on the street, he was talking against terrorism over here all the time. Like all the time, he was always saying, "I don't believe in terrorism in this country."
It's beautiful, Dean.
Naughty bike. Merry Christmas.
Huh? I need to make sure the mic's recording. One sec. Sorry,
Yes, I understand you very well.
Yeah. The memory card's about to change, so I just need to make sure the mic's recording. No, keep doing the thing. It's recording. Yeah, now everything's good. The memory card's about to change, so I need to make sure the mic's recording so I can sync it up. Black C.O.E. Black people. I never believe the story from an extreme.
We are not getting. I mean, Cameron. He tried to get himself fucking involved. He tried to get involved in Syria, and the whole of the parliament, including the right wing, said, we ain't doing that this time. Like, you know, so they're finally getting the idea that they don't want to do these big foreign fucking. Excuse my language. Sorry. They don't realise they don't want to do these foreign adventures and stuff. But if you had someone like Corbyn here in charge, and they didn't involve themselves and they were open about their defence. This place could become a really good place for discussion of peace to take place.
I always say as well, what's happening now? Because the person might say, how come ISIS they're getting followers? The reason ISIS getting followers because when the European countries get involved. The Muslim countries. So when they say, ISIS, what they say, ISIS, they will say to them, they're killing the Muslims. But those, the Muslim leaders are dealing with it. The Muslim countries are dealing with this Khawarij. These Khawarij are playing around. They pretend as a victim. They're not victims, they are terrorists. But when the West get involved, they can twist it by saying, look, the West are getting involved, they want to kill us, and the West should let the Muslim countries deal with it.
I think so as well.
That's the best way. Because why? After that, the ISIS and other than them, they have no excuse to come to Europe and do anything. Because now they have excuse by saying the Europeans coming to our country, this and that, they want to invade us and so on. But as I've mentioned, it was my those guys are playing as a victim. ISIS and those who follow their way are not the victim, are terrorists.
But do you think they're actually Muslim? The nation, how they will leave the farm and they will kill the people?
It's proven that even the messenger of Allah prophesies about them. That we know now that the ISIS and other than them, they killed more Muslims than anyone else.
It's always going to be the way, isn't it?
So I'm saying, and Prophet Muhammad prophesies about them, how many 1400 years ago in Yom.
But people aren't particularly. I don't know if there's so much of a trickle of people coming from here.
What do you mean?
Actually going to support ISIS, I think people sort of haven't realised.
Alhamdulillah, now, people. And I say the best way is education. Education to educate the people.
Do you think they're Muslims?
Generally speaking, I follow the opinion of who believe the Khawarij is Kharajite. They are disbelievers. They're not Muslims.
But he's not speaking about every individual.
Not individual.
Because some people go there with.
Some people don't know. Some people they don't know.
We're going to fight against them.
We're going to have we'll fight against Bashar. We're going to have the Muslims.
And whoever wants to fight, they always give them. There's always enough people want to fund them. Now they're going to go.
I mean, even Donald Trump
funded by the Turks against the Kurds now.
This politics is dangerous. But my point is, that as a Muslim, I'm here, inshallah, to free Islam from extremism. Likewise, to expose Islamophobes.
I know.
Because like you. Sorry if I said the next victim, I'm just joking.
I know. It's fine.
Now when there's jokes, I'm joking. But
I did get a bit like.
So I'm the next victim, man. I know. So, Alhamdulillah, I give you the book.
Thank you very much. And you.
Hopefully, I'll see you soon, David. David,
yeah, I'm sticking around, man.
Inshallah,
stealing your things out. Everyone's like a film, fam. Right, it's just taking it away.
جزاك الله خير. حياكم الله.
Cool, Shamsi.
Who is alive?
Yeah, live to.
You love life, isn't it?
Come on. That's the wave now. It's the wave now. What are you saying, man? Nothing, man. You're on some hype thing, fam. Hey, Rax has got the views, so go jump on Rax's thing, fam.
What?
You're on some hype thing, fam. What? Come on, keep walking, man. Keep walking.
What are you telling me, fam? You fucking know me, I'm joking. I love you. Peace, love, and unity.
Yeah. Crazy, you know, fam. What am I talking about?
Hey, Raj, come get in the picture, man. Hey, Raj, man, come here, man. So let's just
go over there, fam. You on this side of the fucking camera, man. Go over there, man. Are you a cameraman now?
Raj, I'm supposed to molest him, you know. There's been a lot of these black accents for kids.
He said memory card change. Memory card. Huh?
Our education.
Alright, stop recording.
Yeah, so we can't teach us how to do it. Stop saying. Like, there's no reason that if we're coming from inner city areas, there's no reason why educational environments that are in areas
check my man from up there.
whereby you know doesn't know a high percentage of the children are coming from disadvantaged backgrounds can't be organised to address the needs of those children, yeah, in the environment, which I'm saying. So I'm agreeing, but I don't necessarily think that all young people need to take.
Don't punch him with the fucking ladder.
That's just part of the process of learning. You have to be able to respect that there are people that know more than you, that you have to listen to. But I think it's more about the education process in the sense of independence.
Alright?
As it relates to men.
What's that? With the blue stuff?
Yeah, so that to know that as your teacher, I'm trying to teach you to become a man
that's
rather than some junior manhood. And so that being
that just shows you to keep things in proportion still.
From the education system.
Yeah, that's calm, man. It's calm and it's good, man. What's the man talking about over there?
I'm going to wait till I'm going to wait till 8 to see if Ards comes.
You're not from him?
No, he's not. If he comes, then we'll do the conversation. If not, then
So basically, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem. But what are you doing, man? Basically, I had a discussion with Ali Dawa and Shamsi, and they were accusing me of being Khawarij. They're still going on with this nasty, filthy slander. This is totally unacceptable. Myself, Abdul Hakim, and Uncle Omar are free from these accusations. These guys are just, they're not even worth it. They're not worth their time. But Shamsi was calling me out, so I had to confront him. And he's still going on with the fact that, oh, I'm still Khawarij, I'm Khawarij. And he doesn't even know what the Khawarij is. And he's going on to say that they divide into certain groups and split into subgroups. I wanted to address the issue of the first people that was Khawarij in the time of Ali ibn Abi Talib. And they are the ones that broke from the camp of Ali and make takfir on him and make takfir on Muawiyah and Amr ibn al-As, and they make takfir on those who commit major sin. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal mentions the 16 characteristics of the Khawarij in his book Usul al-Sunnah. In his book, you see, he mentions it. So how can you make tabdi' on someone and you don't make takfir on the taghut? It doesn't make sense. How can this be? Why don't you apply the same ruling? How can you just automatically throw labels at people? It's ridiculous. So I'm free from. What are you doing, man? Go away, man. So we are free from this accusation and all this nonsense. And the scholars have defined dar into Dar al-Islam, Dar al-Kufr, Dar al-Harb. They have defined it. And he wants to put words into my mouth to say, oh, what makes a Muslim country? We have Dar al-Islam, Dar al-Kufr, Dar al-Harb. And the Dar that we have today, majority of it are Muslim majority lands, but the ruler, the regime is apostate, is murtad. And this is the situation. Why? Because they rule by kufr. They don't rule by the laws of Allah. And it's clear, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. Al-Kafirun here is mentioned. When Al is before the Kafirun, Ibn Taymiyyah mentions that it has to be taken in its generality. It has to be taken in its maximity to be understood to mean major kufr. This is what Ibn Taymiyyah mentions in his book Iqtida as-Sirat al-Mustaqim. And there are further evidences as well. So this is evidence. No problem. Okay, we make takfir on rulers because we have scholars that make takfir on them. And they've got evidences. If you disagree with takfir and the rulers, cool, no problem. But don't use that to make tabdi on someone and label him as khariji. It's ridiculous. I don't have time for people like him. He's a waste of my time. He's a waste of my energy. I ain't got time for people like that. He can go about his own business and I do my own business. Why does he need to indirect? He ain't no scholar. I'm not a scholar either. I'm a student of knowledge, and I continue to seek knowledge, and we should all continue to seek knowledge because it's an obligation. Allah says in the Quran, "Fa'alam annahu la ilaha illallah." No, comprehend la ilaha illallah. See, seek knowledge and know about la ilaha illallah. And Allah mentions His word in the Quran. Are those who know equal to those who don't know? Allah mentions this in the Quran. So I'm still a seeker of knowledge. Shamsi is no authority in the park. Who is he to tell me crap? He's just like any other da'i here. So he shouldn't be going around making slandering, accusation, accusing people. And then you had Ali Dawa as well, chatting rubbish. I told him, take down the video down of you and Abdul Hakim, calling him Khawarij, because it's slander. Why are you slandering him for? You're making him a Khawarij. You're saying he's got traits of Khawarij. Traits of the Khawarij is what? They make takfir on the major sins. They're harsh with the Muslimin and they're lenient with the kuffar. We've seen this from you. Okay, if you're saying I'm a Khawarij because I have traits, you have fallen into nullifiers. And there are people who make takfir on you, Ali Dawa. There's people who make takfir on you and pronounce you a kafir, apostate. So what do you say then? You need to sort yourself out and sort out your aqidah and sort out your mess. And it's clear and open in the to us here. So inshallah the truth will prevail. I'm not here to seek fame or fortune. I'm not here to seek any popularity. I couldn't care less if the whole park is against me. As long as I stand upon the truth, the Quran, the Sunnah and the understanding of the Sahabas. This is my position. And this is the position of my brothers too. They are free from all these accusations. Oh, he's Khariji, he's Khariji. What nonsense is this? Khariji because he's got certain traits. Oh, if you make takfir on the rulers, is that enough to be a Khawarij? Is that enough? Didn't the Khawarij make takfir against Ali ibn Abi Talib? Didn't they make takfir against the Khalifa? And before Ali ibn Abi Talib fought them, he sent Abdullah ibn Abbas to debate them. Did he not do that? So we have to go back to the history of the first Khawarij. And he also talk about, oh, the Khawarij are different groups, they split up. And they've got subgroups, and I am one of them. He's accusing me. So this Shamsi is slandering me, slandering my brothers, and he needs to fear Allah and stop chatting rubbish, stop talking nonsense. Because you are really a coward. You have no balls to stand against the kuffar. You make excuse for Tan, where Tan's running his mouth, chatting rubbish about Islam and insulting Islam and Muslims. Throwing the Quran. You prevented mass Muslim from confronting Tan. What's this nonsense? But yet you're harsh against Abdul Hakim. And you call him a Khawarij, Khariji. And you're harsh against myself. Relax and chill out. You don't represent the Salaf. You're not upon the Salafiyah. Because the Salaf have Tawheed, Al-Wala wal-Bara. Kufr bit-Taghut. This is what the Salaf are upon. People, they're Ahl Sharia. They're people of the Deen, people of knowledge and implementation. This is what the Salaf. I don't need to call myself a Salafi. I'm just a Muslim. Allah tells us how we should call ourselves. هو سماكم المسلمين من قبل وفي هذا. He has named us Muslims as from presently and before. So we are Muslims. I don't care if you're more knowledgeable than me. I'm seeking knowledge. I'm always going to seek knowledge, and we are all seekers of knowledge. And I asked him, are you a scholar? I asked Shamsi, are you a scholar? He says no. He says he's not a scholar, so what's the difference between me and you? So he needs to chill out and relax himself and be humble, because the way he's going, you know, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, deal with him or guide him. That's it. That's all I can say, innit?
Cool, man. I respect.
Yes, I know.
What's the man talking about?
From Hammer, Black Mud, in Masnood, molded into shit. Brother, get into
Very dark.
Brother, stop, please.
It has many interpretations.
Let me show you how bad it is. Listen.
Okay, what's your point?
What's my point? Listen.
I have no issue with this.
What's your point? I said, get the evidence.
No.
Bloody hell. You see that? All of a sudden, what's your point? All of a sudden, the Leo...
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it's true, and
What does the word Adam mean? The word Adam, what does it mean?
Adam, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay, the black fear. When it describes
The intellectual bit, get this bunk today.
You can shut your ass. Stuff it like that. Listen. I want you to pay attention. If Allah has determined that there was one man and one woman at the beginning of all human beings, let's say, do you agree they were not multicolored?
I don't know what colour they are.
They were not multicolored.
Not multicolored, possibly.
So there was something, either black or Chinese or this or that.
No, not Chinese.
Wow. You hear that? Chinese Muslims are going to brush you up, man. I might just dismiss them.
Adam didn't come from an ethnic group. There's no ethnic group at that time. So it was just creation. That's how we see it.
Like what, yeah? Like what? So was it human? Did you eat food?
No, where? He was created in the heavens.
Where on earth?
No, he was placed on the earth.
Where
We believe modern day Palestine.
Okay. Adam,
what tells you? Hold on, one second. Where do you get your evidence? Yeah, or what tells you that Adam was placed in Palestine?
That's what the scholars say. That's what
one came down in India, one came down in Jeddah.
No, but we believe it's
One came down.
And they said,
What is the point?
Eve came down one place.
Yeah, what's your point?
What's the point?
What's your point?
Let's say not Palestine.
Very important, and it plays into even more because of the fact that all these big companies that we see today, they work and so we prove that the social relationship that Adam was is allowed to relate.
Okay, well, where was Adam placed? Where was Adam placed?
No.
Where was Adam placed?
Allah told
Samaria.
It makes more sense that Adam was,
Muhammad that Adam was placed in Palestine.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
He even said the scholarship.
I said the line, which we know as today as modern day Palestine. That's what some scholars have said. That Adam was placed there. Yeah. It wasn't called, it wasn't called Palestine at that time.
It doesn't matter about the name. You're saying that. What did Palestine? What did Palestine? Modern day Palestine.
What did they Palestine?
Why don't you reference the thing? Get the hadith.
No.
The first man was in Palestine.
Really?
But then he was descended.
What's the hadith in Sahih Muslim? About the 4 rivers. The Nile, Euphrates, and 2 others. It doesn't matter. No, it's in Sahih Muslim, bro.
Somalis are not agreeing with that, but it's
Just so people understand, yeah? I was Sunni for 2 years. I've been here for
There we go.
Say that again.
I was Sunni.
What's the go?
He said, I've been 20 years. And people understand.
Sunni for 2 years.
For about 2 years. To correct him again. Hold on, let me finish. You know, shall I demonstrate? Hold on, stop. Who's Qatar? Who is Qatar?
He's running, man.
Come on.
Why are we talking about this?
We want to.
Islam's a baby.
We're talking about Kemet, come on. You guys get him doing this thing, and then tell me when these lot have gone.
He's also of the same thing. Okay. Right? Yeah. So my point is to him, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam, and after angelic beings to bow to this creation, what is that creation? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam, right? After vanishing him, breathing his soul, a piece of his soul into that fashion model, right? And then after asking the Malik to bow, other than Shaitan didn't want to do it, cool. But the whole point is, what is that? If those angelic beings are asked to bow to who? The creation.
Adam, the man.
Yeah. So what is he? Is he not Allah in the flesh?
No, he's not. No, he's not.
No. Why? If you have Allah's soul, hold on. If you have a piece of Allah's soul,
Rasul.
one second.
Rasulullah.
If you have a piece of Allah's soul, yeah, then what are we saying? We're not saying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're not saying that. We're not saying it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is Allah in the flesh.
I'll be honest that
We're not Christians.
when you say that Allah...
You do know we're not Christians. So we don't have that concept. No, we don't have that concept of flesh.
So is Adam the first creation?
Adam's the first. He put his ruh, which is spirit.
The ruh is the spirit
Arabic
that
word.
Allah created it as well.
Where did they say
It's not Allah himself. No.
piece of his?
No. Allah created the ruh as well.
But it blew it in.
Ruh as well.
He put it in.
Put the ruh into Adam.
No.
You're being disingenuous.
Because there's a whole surah.
If I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
Listen, there's a whole surah.
The way
There's a
I
whole surah about this.
understand
You know, there's a whole surah about this. Right? Listen,
But
you know, there's a whole surah about this. About how God doesn't put himself in others. Nor does he give birth. Nor does someone give birth. There's a whole surah about this. So,
and his first Khalifa, the first prophet, yes, and his first Khalifa, then he is the physical representation of Allah. But who else is there? Because he creates everything else. Everything has been given a title.
And Allah clearly said, "Laysa kamithlihi shay." There is nothing like me.
But we're not saying it's like, we're saying that the soul came the piece of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What he's in. It doesn't make him.
let me ask you a question. What about you? See when you was
When I got a bit older, and and I sort of find the future.
When inside my mama's stomach, the soul is already entered.
The soul entered. So what does that make you then? The soul entered into you. What does that make you?
That makes me Allah.
That makes you Allah. So we're all Allah. So you're trying to say we're all God.
No, we're all Allah.
Representation of God.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So we're all Allah.
Yes, because you're descendants of what Allah created first. Yeah.
That's what Allah
In Islam, creator and creation is
I can't be wrong. The reason I can't be wrong.
And claiming to the absolute, which on some level it does, right? Right. And each religion claims to be that top of the mountain. But I think
how you the individual get to the top of the mountain. It's not the top of the mountain, it's about communicating to you how to climb to the top of the mountain. Long before the
That's probably the confusion. Okay.
So I'm not sure on that question. Yeah. I think I probably need to take a break and get a kind of a drink or something. Yeah, it's good to speak to you too.
It's in big time.
Me too. And I think this is where Islam, unfortunately, and I'm not throwing up the whole of Islam, I think Islam is, like Kabbalism, probably too complex for most people and too open to be misinterpreted. The more moving parts you've got in the system, the more likely it is to collapse. And I think the problem with a lot of religions are inevitably they're misinterpreted, and I think the Quran is more prone to be misinterpreted because it's so dense and it takes itself so literally. Whereas something like Christianity, you can choose 4 Gospels, 2 Commandments. That gives us a bit of an edge in certain respects.
You're not actually about the return of the mountain. The top of the mountain is for a Christian, yes? They just got to the what's among us,
Are you on the Trinity? You on the Trinity?
No. The top of the mountain is for a Christian. What is it? Anyway, the top of the mountain for Muslim.
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
So basically, the belief, salvation, the top of the mountain is what I think, maybe I'm correcting it, about salvation. You want to get your salvation, you want to be saved. The way God wants you to be in, this is the top of the mountain.
Yeah, we could. I call it enlightenment. Not all salvation.
This is the top of the mountain for any Christian.
No.
I tell him any mountain other than this, he'll tell me no, it's not my mountain.
Hang on. I need to take this word salvation.
You are talking about Christianity.
I'm speaking as... If you're going to insist that salvation is the only term, then no, I would say...
What is the top of the mountain for Christianity?
I think it still
Right, it's clear.
But it would be clear for you because you believe in it.
No, but it's clear for you.
But it's not. That's why I have my position. You have your
George, I'm telling you, if you never see the guy...
Okay, let's move on.
Okay. Yeah, so when something is translated, you might derive a certain message from it, but when you're actually speaking Arabic, you can understand it different. Yeah. So there's stuff like that around that have. So I'm not sure. What? 83?
No, let me not mind boggle you on that.
Was it 81?
81,
19.
Better write it down, please.
Yeah,
I don't forget it.
No, I remember. 81, 19, yeah?
Yeah, 81.
I won't forget.
81, 19.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So keep that out. So it's something that will be doubted. No, what I would like to do is, you've given one of the things I wanted people to be aware of. I called it.
لما انا ابقى في مصر شغال بالجنيه المصري
Suddenly their channels are going to be filled with a Christian that can give answers. Like you just saw with that guy. He had no arguments. In the end, all he could say was, I love Jesus, follow Jesus, I follow Jesus. And his entire argument was based upon, I'm circumcised, you're not, I don't what you do, therefore I follow Jesus, you don't. And it's completely ahistorical nonsense.
You didn't even bother giving the verses, because there's 2 verses in the New Testament that deal with those sort of things. You didn't need to do that.
No, not really. Because to anyone who's objectively listening to that argument, they can see that he's not making an argument. He's just pantomiming for the crowd. But for you as a person, because I agree with your criticism of what Christianity has become in the West. Weak, insipid, and floundering, trying to please everyone.
No wonder it doesn't appeal to anyone.
No wonder it doesn't appeal to anyone. But I tell you something, mate. Like, I've got people who are atheists, hard people from working class backgrounds, contacting me and saying that they've picked up the Bible. I've got people who come that would never darken the door of a church, contacting me, asking me questions about spiritual matters that they never would have thought of before until they've seen us on so-called.
It's a lot more effective what you do than, I mean, nothing against them, but the guys will get up on a stand and just shout to the empty air and they'll give you the...
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't do anything.
Because Christians,
best intentions, but
Christians need to wake up to the realities of the world that they live in. And sadly, a lot of Christian fellowships are addicted to how Christianity used to be. So they think that there's an unhelpful theology with some Christians, which is this idea that you can preach the gospel and it will touch someone, even if no one is actually listening. And that's the sort of clownish mentality that some Christians have. When we need to get off our pulpits, we need to get in amongst the people, like you, and engage with people from where they're coming from, and deal with the questions that they have. And I'm inviting you to embrace Christ and to become his disciple, and to follow this kind of muscular Christianity that you see here. Not the wishy-washy version that your grandma knew, where it's all about being a good person, because she didn't understand her own faith. God rest her soul, she's probably in heaven, but like, she misrepresented the Christian faith to you. Because salvation in the Christian faith isn't based upon what we do. It says that whilst the world was yet sinners, God sent his only Son, that whomever should believe in him shall have eternal life and not perish. Right? So that's saying that whilst you're still a sinner in your sin, God has offered you salvation freely. That's not based on anything you do. That's based on what God is doing for you. But your grandmother said something entirely different. And that's because she's misunderstood the faith.
What did she say?
She used to say,
people say just be a good person and
you'll go to heaven. And that's not what the Christian faith teaches. Christians do try to live a good life. But we don't try to live a good life because we're trying to earn something.
I think that
we try to live a good life because we're trying to respond in gratitude to something that has been freely given to us. If you love someone, do you try to please them or upset them? Yeah.
That could involve upsetting.
Agreed. But I guess what we're essentially saying is, if you love someone, you don't go out of your way to do things that'll piss them off, unless there's a good reason to do so. Well, our relationship with God is like that, except that we're never in a position to have to do something to God for his own benefit. Which means that the only thing that we have to do towards God is to do that which pleases him. And we're doing it out of a place of gratitude, not out of a place of striving to earn salvation. And that's the faith that I'm calling you to. But it's not a wishy-washy faith. It's the kind of faith that can take on the Dawah team. It's the kind of faith that has defeated Islamic jihad 3 times in history. It's the kind of faith that held out in Ethiopia against violent jihad. It's the kind of faith that has stood in defiance of Islamic dominance in Egypt and in Syria and in Iraq. It's the kind of faith that freed Greece from Islamic occupation. That's the faith I'm inviting you to. That's what it means to be a disciple of Christ. That you should be willing to sacrifice everything to follow him. That you're willing to leave everything behind to follow him. And to push aside any obstacle that will keep you from entering the kingdom of God. That's what it means to be a Christian. Then on that thought I leave. Read your Testament. Come and talk to us if you've got questions. How we're doing C.O.E. Is this live streaming, Leon? Yeah. It just doesn't work. Islam just does not work. It doesn't work for Muslims. It'll not work for us. This is why we don't need Islam. It's this kind of attitude that has ripped the Middle East to pieces. And it's this kind of attitude that if we embrace this religion, it will rip our culture apart as well. We need to abandon this false ideology. It has failed for Muslims. It will fail for us if we adopt it.
Believe it.
Omar, do better now.
Calm down, everybody, including the police. Calm down. Just let everybody get along with their lives. Don't make matters worse. We will be keeping the peace, not making trouble.
We don't need this religion here. See how Islam. We don't need Islam.
This is
we don't need Islam here. It doesn't work for Muslims.
Have been paid.
ISIS didn't work for people like you. How many
destroy the reputation of Islam here. So
Islam doesn't work for
ISIS. You don't need the wrong people to pay them and make them destroy the other religions.
What have you achieved? Except to appear on a magazine, on the Sun newspaper.
Has anyone converted to Christianity for you?
Yes, yes. Not in the park, but they have. And what do you think that proves, Sullivan? What do you think?
These people are the Shia who are making this trouble here.
ISIS failed for you. ISIS, because you're an ISIS supporter. We know you're an ISIS supporter. We know you're an ISIS supporter.
Why did you pay Shia?
We know you're an
Shia to make this scenario here.
Sorry?
Why did you pay Shia to make this scenario here?
What do I pay?
Yeah.
Isn't it the Sunnis that pay them?
No, the Shias.
I'm joking.
You're paying
No, of course.
He works for the radio.
I tried to avoid it, man. They just come at me, man.
You're not a thinking man.
I'm involved, guys.
You're not a thinking man. So I pity you. You have my pity. Come, just keep coming.
Hey, just relax. What are you standing for? Just calm, bro. What's wrong with you, bro? Just relax. I'm telling you, calm. I'm telling you.
She's honestly studying.
Don't touch the system.
انا عارف اللي بس انا عارف اللي بس بعدين يا عم بتجوز عليهم يا عم انا بتجوز
لا
So everybody went
Yes, you want to attack me for no reason.
It's all nuts, mate.
Some people are enjoying this, making money out of people. Some people making money out of the drum box. No. You can make money.
It doesn't mean anything. Listen, it doesn't mean anything, yeah? Because it's you, it doesn't now mean anything, yeah?
What happened? I heard it was you, Roger.
It's always his fault.
Did you make it hell? What's
I don't know, fam.
Talk about an uncle or
I understand fighting, I don't even know what it was about.
Like an uncle got touched or something. I don't know who it was.
I think it was some Arabs.
This is a problem with Speaker's Corner, especially when there ain't that many signs about.
What's happened tonight? What's happened, mate?
I don't know, just people that started fighting. I was filming Bob, people that started fighting behind man. I don't know what it's about.
Ban them all.
Fighting Bob.
What's up?
And then when they meet that Christian, that's when they bring the cameras in and start doing the debate. Yeah. When they're acting.
Cool, bro. No, Riza.
These Shabos, they broke the arm of the guy.
They broke the arm?
This Modin gang.
Yeah.
It's not good, really. Seriously.
Hey, yo, Riza. Yo, Riza. Yo, Riza. I beg you get, see the man and the girl talking. The man and the girl there. Right in front of you. No, I don't know. Good, yeah, I know it's you, man. I know it's you.
How are you doing? Still here?
I'm still here.
No problem. Somebody say.
Fight and talk.
Get yourself next.
You see what I mean? The Muslims go around asking Christians the same questions every week, and they keep going around until they find a gullible Christian who doesn't know how to defend their faith. Does know how to defend their faith. They run off. And that's what you've just seen, literally, right in front of you. I'm not making it up. Did you not see that, bro?
Can I say Christianity?
Can you say Christianity? Can you say Christianity? Say Christianity. Can you say Christianity?
It's a profanity.
Well, at least you can say the word. Why is it a profanity?
Because it's where.
And he was saying
Hype thing, fam.
It was a hype.
Yeah, you never see the beat kicking off.
They damaged a lot of
Okay, so about the morning.
But going back to it, how do these role models get into the school? By having the education.
They get the education, but it's about pushing them in that way, to go that way, to make it something that interesting.
But it can be difficult because I know a lot of, so like, you know, I'm associating people like Andrew Mohammed, and like he's prolific, like he gets into bare schools, doing workshops and all kind of different things, film breakdowns and history and self-development kind of things. Yeah, a guy called Andrew Mohammed. But he's like one of very few who has that level of access. And nobody actually knows how he's able to, like, he's totally independent. Yeah, like, and gets into all these schools across the country and he's able to do this stuff. Whereas everybody, there are a lot of people that are trying to do that kind of work. It's not as easy. In fact, even me, like, when the school that I actually went to, one of my friends, when I grew up as adults here, became a teacher. I was actually a teacher at the school that I actually went to. She brought me into the school to do creative writing workshops with some of the young people. And some of my old teachers kind of conspired against the team to basically stop the team. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so things like that happen, you know what I'm saying? I went back to my old school, to cover, you know what I'm saying? Like, to do, and it, like, so it's like, I know that the school environment is not always conducive to I'm not gonna bring the weed thing again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so there's a need for that. There are many people that are not trained teachers that have the skills or the resources to be able to provide certain services, not necessarily on a year-long basis, but programs. There are a lot of people that do programs. I think maybe there's work that must be done in terms of how we get these people. It came out a few years ago that something like 55% of black men, young black men, this is not something.
That's higher than half.
So even the issue with even getting black teachers into institutions there's already a certain stand. How do they start to, like you say, your thing got shut down when you were doing some extracurricular stuff. Now, how does a teacher who teaches mathematics on a daily basis, how does he translate that into some sort of a mentoring program by which teachers children break up?
That's a very good question. So it's about like hate teaching Shakespeare. So a lot of the time kids are exposed to it. So there's a bookshelf, they love it. So it's kind of break out of this. Yeah.
He's right on it, right? Real truly so behind
100%. Yeah. No one's going to sit there and it's like a dry eyes written by black people. She buys it, and does go above and beyond.
Yeah. And I think that's the question. The organisation of teachers, and it works in the black community as well. The people themselves, like for things that the teachers should be more.
Yeah.
But
in the Bible.
Valuable tool where there's a lot of variables. There's enough to kind of give you just like basic kind of code of like
Which is good. Religion is
it's not a placebo if you believe that it was written by students. Sorry, I was just going to say that.
Okay, fine. If you believe, which is fair enough.
A little bit, yeah. No, I find things.
It's a very fair point.
I think I'm good, yeah.
This is a good first point. It's on the farm.
Because I get this example many times before. And when you have a slave, they have a policeman around and they won't steal in front of the police. But then when nobody's looking, it's not stealing.
But that's not all people, some people.
Most of them will. Most of them will. When you give people absolute freedom,
okay, that therefore includes you. So if I give you absolute freedom, you're telling me and you're confessing now, thankfully, lies, not giving you what you want. Stealing, definitely killing?
I'm not confessing it. I don't know what would happen if I had absolute freedom because I never had.
Okay, what's your best bet about how you personally would be? My best bet.
If you gave me absolute freedom, you know what I would probably do? I would ask you to take it away. Because people are very because people don't have people want to be shackled by something. And that is part of the reason why people need I spoke to one and I told him, okay, in the end, all you're doing is for God. Every part of your being belongs to God. That means you're a slave to God.
But it's good for us. It's the message that I
Yes,
got.
I'm a slave. I want to be a slave.
It's quite funny.
It's a joke.
Yeah, but it's like very good.
What God commands us, we also believe at the same time. It is all for God. And we also equally believe it is also very good for us.
I'm not an open attacker of religion. I see religion as a useful thing. If it's correct.
It's useful if if you follow the authentic teachings of Islam, you wouldn't find something
because you're an atheist, yeah?
I'm not quite an atheist. I want God to exist. And I believe we have absolutely.
But what happens is there's a old uncle who makes.
I can will God to exist, but because
can you will yourself to exist? Yes. Can you make yourself not exist? Because
this is the problem. You know, I argue with Muslims,
and he got a message, and he always goes, look at my phone, I don't know how to explain WhatsApp. And the number is
no, the name. No, the Christians. When I argue with the Christians, they answer you to think you didn't answer. They really like using one
when I heard at the end,
which is
when I see
the argument instead of proving the argument.
And I said to him,
I never ridiculed it.
You're ridiculing the argument.
You said,
which is fine. It's fine.
What's your name?
Ahmad. The thing is, it's not necessarily a fallacy. It's just that you know, I got this with
I'm sorry, you do a car and we are a bit would you like to continue? No, it's not the fault. It's
I had a lot of giving me the example of 1 + 1 = 2. And I thought, he told why did he give me that example? Because I told him there are no absolute truths. You can't be absolutely uncertain of anything. And he told me, okay, and you're not certain that 1 + 1 = 2.
I really want to get that. This is the 740,
but now I do.
That one's a 10.
The answer is really easy. It's the 0.95.
But I want to ask you.
This is 700. That's about 800.
I understand you might start ridiculing the argument.
No.
One doesn't exist if you don't give another. One man, one camera, one hat, one car. Without one is not
740 Olympics.
And you,
but there's a 714
objects. No two objects are actually an object. It just doesn't. It's absolute same object.
10, 7.
The practice wants to be it's a one. You can only speak. You can only. Listen, you can only speak of one if you know what the one is. No, that's the one. Mathematics, imaginary numbers. You need to use mathematics by using it on specific things. The whole point of that's how you use mathematics. That doesn't mean it defines mathematics. It does define mathematics. Mathematics is defined to measure the world. The method itself. So when the object doesn't, it's not demonstrated. You don't have maths. That's it. You have maths. You need to apply maths to the real world, like the world of bodies, to the physical world. It's a summing and subtracting method. If you don't like math,
that's what
maths just like measuring, like centimeters, inches. There are only imaginary things we have to define the world, to measure the world around us. The world is it's
yeah, listen, that's what they make. They bring out Panasonic S1 seriously, which will be 30 months.
Doesn't exist without you naming it, without you saying what you're disappointed, without you saying one thing, one tree.
I heard that maybe they can have both.
What is one without the object? I think if you've got a if you've got a professional mathematician in here, then they'll take you on what you're saying. Because almost uniquely, because I'm not a professional mathematician, therefore I'm looking at it. But almost uniquely, maths is the facilitator of all the science. It is strangely enough
the self-consistent set of laws that you can manipulate in your imagination to extrapolate axioms and principles with utility. And the process of then taking that to the lab and physically acting it out on physical objects is a great way of communicating it, proving it, and enforcing it. But doing all of that is post-prior, the opposite of a priori. The maths is a priori. Thank you, a posteriori, thank you. That's a posteriori to the maths itself is a priori to the demonstration.
Evet.
That's
Merhabalar. Nasılsınız?
Döşemek anlatayım. 4 yaşımda geldim İstanbul'dan.
Evet.
Burada büyüdüm.
Artık Londra'da olmuş.
Ben eski DJ olarak DJ'lik yapıyordum Londra'da. Türk kulüpler, barlar vardı. Hep Türk geceler yapıyordu her gece. Ama şimdi onlar hep bitti. Yok artık.
Siz de YouTube açtınız bir kanal.
Yok, bir arkadaş var burada 2 senedir beri video çekiyor. Ben de ona yardımcı oluyorum kendi aletlerimle. Çünkü ben 70 senelerinden beri buraya geliyorum. Arada sırada. Şimdi Avrupa'dan geliyor.
Tamam.
Siz burada mı yaşıyorsunuz?
Yok, biz gezmeye geldik. Daha önce gelmiştik. Yine bir pazar günü.
Zaten sırf
Biz yine bir pazar günü denk gelmiştik yani. Sadece pazar günü. Ben kamerayı sallayacaktım.
Onun kanalını koyunca benim adımı geçirdi. Bu da canlı şu anda.
Öyle mi? Arkadan el sallasınız öyle.
Olası önemli değil.
Ben hiç el sallasın.
Her pazar oluyor mu? Her pazar oluyor mu?
Siz yapmış kanallar var. Ama benim yabancı bir arkadaşım.
But without the physical object of a door, the word door.
Şu anda o canlı, o da rekor yapıyor.
It's just a bunch of I pronounce. It doesn't have any meaning. The physical, the physical object,
Yani bunun
the rules exist. They are in the world. The math itself, the numbers, all the equations, they were invented by humans. They are measurements made by humans. You understand the world. You understand it better. People are we are disagreeing then.
şu anda yani onun kanallarını
Again, I'm making the distinction between the math itself, which is the numbers we know, all the symbols and stuff, all the rules, and the functionality. The functionality of the world itself, it exists, but we don't understand it exactly as it is. Maths is being invented as we speak right now. We don't have the absolute version of maths. Big equations, new rules are being invented as humanity goes on.
The idea that 1 plus 1 equals 2, your thinking seems to go. He said to you, show something I know. He said 1 plus 1 equals 2. You said no, that's not the case because...
I didn't say it because I know how to give this example. I don't know how to give the explanation I'm giving you. So I was kind of left to in the moment.
Right, but then on reflection, you reach the conclusion that no, you don't want the reason was because no one the same. Now, when you brought language into the discussion, you really jumped the shark as far as I'm concerned. You seem to think backwards. The identity is a necessary tick box before you can add one. The concept one. One is
absolute perfection, absolute perfect 1 plus 1, just like that. If you want to be exact, that's how it is, and that's my point. Nothing will be exact. You can't point exact things.
Whereas the number one is a representation for the object. It's a symbol for the object.
It's a symbol that represents.
Exist. Simple systems exist. In the mind, there or not. And the human mind, that's the point.
symbolizes one thing. We need the thing, because without the thing, we don't have anything. We just have the symbol.
When you right, and then imagine the symbol in my heart.
But it's an empty symbol. It's an imaginary.
No, because it allows you to run hypothetical versions of reality.
It does.
Where I can test one against another, come up with new theories, it has utility. You're a big fan of utility. And I can do all of that without ever using a physical object.
Of course.
Okay, the physical object.
That's why we have the symbol to represent the object.
So the symbol maps it, almost, I don't know about uniquely, but maps is one of those areas where having the symbol available to you gives you the tools. You can do it all in your own mind.
Yes.
Okay, good. And also, not only that, which I think is valid. Also, they may be a priori reality.
The symbols,
depending on
the symbols are a posteriori
to reality. Depends on whether you believe in archetypes or not. Now, what I got from what you were saying was more about morality and the fact that you need to be enslaved to being controlled. It implies that you're coming from Freudian kind of position. I don't know within the stuff you think about.
That's not far from the truth.
Okay, right. Kind of the super ego is one necessary constraint on a kind of a destructive ego that would otherwise
And it doesn't work exactly the same way with everybody, but the principle is more or less the same.
She concurred with that, even though she concurred with your point of view. Which is interesting because you're extensively atheist, not quite.
I'm not an atheist, but I will not really believe. I think we cannot know absolutely how God is and what God wants. I don't think we can know, but I won't. I just don't think we can know.
Çok konuşuyorlar bu.
Ülke hakkında konuşuyorlar. Ülke hakkında.
Somaliler var. Somaliler bayılıyorlar.
The senses are flawed. That's why you should say nothing is
ama yine kötülenmez.
Where his view would be that there are archetypal abilities, so that the superego is expressing you're not just very dark in nature in the unconscious. The superego is to do with that. Is the collective unconscious, the wellspring coming up, which contains archetypes.
That's the part I'm not certain if I should agree with Dean Freud's.
Well, this is where it might connect to maths, because I'm talking about maths being archetypal in the same sense that Jung might have talked about. It might exist at that kind of level. Now, I'm not saying that Jung is right and Freud is wrong, I don't know, but it's a discussion to be had, or more in the Freudian camp. You've got a bleak view of human nature. It may be true, but
I do. But also, it's not a complete bleak, because there are tools that can be relatively easily used to basically omit. Basically avoid. It's not very hard. People have done it in the past many times. And overall, every civilization, even if they are really bad civilizations, like really destructive civilizations, they're not absolutely self and other civilizations. They avoid themselves and the other. They don't do that.
It's not a fairly safe game. That's the safest game. A little bit more ambitious to risk.
Humanity might take sometimes steps back, but it will usually walk forward.
I may be open. I think you want to aim for the best you can.
Yes.
You think the best that you can is probably just to repress your bad nature. And you may I'm the best you can aim for is a bit better than that. And that the may have the freedoms, but I could be wrong. But
try to reflect bad nature. The answer to that is to use the bad nature. To be able to grab the evil out of every person. I mean evil, I'm calling it evil. It's basically the destructive desire to achieve what your ego wants. The selfish desire to kill, to rape, to steal, to do what to achieve the primary desires. If you are able to grab that and to use it properly, to divert it in a certain way, to distort it enough, to be able to use it as a kind of motivation to go on in our lives. For example, if you divert the E into reasonable ambition, for example, to be a great person, to achieve wealth, to build an empire, then I think it's perfectly reasonable to do it, because empires have improved the life of humans. The Roman Empire, for example, they didn't enslave many people, they didn't kill many people. No, and in the end, they created a great civilization that, made humanity go beyond where they were. They made humanity evolve in the big,
It's a total self-consistency is my measure of. You have to tick the box of self-consistency. Your position is, and you may be. Human nature. I'm also taking issue with the definition of the id again. It seems to be going. The id is about grabbing, killing, covetousness, all things bad.
It's not exactly that. It's the childish notion, which doesn't know bad or good. It just does whichever it wins to do. And what we win to do is usually what is not so good for society, because, again, humans want to do what is forbidden. It's part of their own nature to desire what is forbidden, to seek what they don't know. It's not necessarily an evil thing to do, it's just kind of curiosity, it's kind of wanting more than what you have.
Well, I would your friend in society terms, with reference to what she was saying, I would say, is in your what extent that you realise in your victim, which you say is your goal and your potential. My problem when I came to Freudian psychology was, okay, you've got the id, ego, superego, yeah? And I asked the question, so where's the good bit?
Where's the good bit?
Yeah, that was the question I immediately asked myself, was I hear I've got three facets.
I don't like that question, because good is very, very
Where's the bit I want to hang out with? Where's the bit that in another person I want to hang out with?
That's the difficulty of life. You can't choose for the ego and live only by itself, only on the id, only on the superego, only on the ego. You need to kind of balance yourself with it. And that's real difficult of life, to be able to, because look, if you only have superego, you're a slave. You're a slave, you don't have any self-awareness, you don't have any desire, you don't have anything. You just bend over and
okay, well that you got the connotation.
I think you want
to go with so I'm going practice, and the other is just some kind of narcissism. The only place that is good is the id. This is emotion. But are you telling me all my feelings and emotions are just negative? So then, because this is the id, I follow my id, I want to kill, steal. Hopefully I want to do nice stuff as well.
I understand now why you think that way. I understand now what you thought about what I said. But look,
I like your problem though, your resolution. It's not to rebuild the harmony between you and that.
First of all, I need to explain about what you I always think Freud shows ego as a third option. And superego is the ego you has. Yourself. It's the being that chooses
That's not created by the tension between
it's kind of like that. It's your ego is the judge, it's the choice that you have.
Judge is superior.
Not exactly. The judge, as you see in society, the judge is the society yourself. Superego, which
that mechanism is
yes. It's I won't talk a lot about ego because it's very complicated. We have to, divert a lot of attention just about
Are you a psychologist?
No, not that level. It's
just an it, all of its feelings. And the other person will, the other person. Some people feel well, pleasure. Feel well when you
I feel good when I feel like I'm empathically connected with another person. Feel that's the feeling they feel. I get the conclusion that in the realms of positive human nature, because I'm an example of it. I may be deluding myself, but I seem to see that in another people. I hear it reflected in other narratives, and therefore I take that to be a property. And seeing it as far as I'm concerned, if you don't feel it, it's not that very practical sense. All else is theory and content. It's essentially what we're dealing with. About emotions.
The one having a 5
No, because could be helped. It could be in a horribly bad situation. Maybe we might. I was speaking to vegan 2 weeks ago, right? They had a vegan. They got popular.
Very popular.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We got into a big stalemate because I couldn't prove them. Like I couldn't give them enough, and they couldn't give me enough reasons to stop me. Because I was basing myself on functionality, as I usually am. And they were basing themselves on the they were basing themselves, oh, you know, don't kill the animals because it's not nice killing the animals.
You could have taken this further. They're being empathic. We do it in
time. They are very selfish. To them, the vegan mind, when I was talking, they are very
Let me demonstrate to you how. Okay,
sorry. Give you this. I told like this. Look, guys, if I have a choice to kill every single animal on Earth, or to give a future for humanity, to make humanity keep existing, and I would, without any question, choose the existence of humanity. Because I value humanity above any kind of animal. Mainly because
Really, that's a joke thing. The message is
the ability to see the world from their perspective. Now, they never really meant to settle the world.
What's his name there? Raspberry. He's going to go on in 5 minutes and talking, I think there was Sarah.
I feel very
I don't know if you're talking to him. You're talking to someone saying, yeah, I'm going to go on in 5 minutes.
But look, I like the village.
You can put a live stream chat people.
We see them as useful companions. We eat them, but we also give them a good life. Like they live well, we can take care of them, blah blah blah.
I get where you're coming from. And I know given my vegan story, it's backtracking to how I was talking before, back to the 4x central. Okay. So the vegans were there, they got the sign, and I said to them, look, here might be a problem with veganism, it's a global sign, but if we didn't eat meat, all the sheep and all the cows would become extinct or live in food. Yeah? Right. I challenged that. To my surprise, they doubled down on me and went, yeah, we're okay with that. Right? And I went, they're okay with it. Okay, so then I doubled down on them and went, okay, and I said, right, so I went, therefore logically, maybe human beings should be reproduced because we're suffering. And they just give up. So they doubled down on me and went, yeah, we believe that. It turned out it was actually, they think human beings shouldn't reproduce because we inflict suffering. Now, I'm owning up here and going, I'm not 100% sure they're wrong. Okay? I hope you.
I think the light can prove you that it's not a reasonable thing.
I don't know. In the human condition is just suffering, essentially suffering. Then to choose to bring new ends with may not be a cool thing to do. I'm not. I don't want to wait for that position, but I don't want to eliminate it from the spectrum.
You show up very fair point. But look, the thing is, you are completely against suffering. If you want to exterminate, eliminate, eradicate suffering, you are against it.
You got to get.
I would agree with you. Just, I think their point is it is possible. In the Buddhist tradition, they don't like the suffering. The Christian thing, the theme of suffering is very it could just be unfathomable way to life.
The Christians, they pray to a community but we which I think it's basically the idea of self-sacrifice or something else. That's what the cross stands for. That's why
if now my battery dies,
I don't believe in either of them, but Christianity stands for that self-sacrifice. And that's at the same time, it can be against the Christians, but it's being done right now because the Christians are being they have a very big moral
that's what he does.
relativism going on. They completely lost themselves. They don't have any strict rules.
I kind of rely
all they have is just giving in to the political correct.
I don't think you can argue the Catholics with relativism. The Catholics are fairly hard-eyed. There's clear right, clear wrong.
There is. I don't agree with the strict Catholics, but if religion doesn't have any effect, any influence over any positive, you need to have a set of rules. Without a set of rules to follow, there is nothing. You're
thinking of the super ego. I'm assuming carrot.
Which is that, but I had to shock
the carrot. You can motivate people to have fun. Super ego don't just friends bad. What I like about Christianity is it seems to weigh the positive carrot and then go to an and it can be quite good for that, which I like. But I like that in people, myself and in other people, and I think people enjoy getting on. It's nice to be panicked. We've got people like getting on. When you get into a harmonious situation, level,
I go over there.
Just on a friendship level or playing the band together, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, that is a positive win-win thing.
I can put that device there.
The thing is, I don't like the mentality of positive, good, negative, bad. That's how the world works. If we are only into the positive, I was saying that in denial of God. We lose sense of the positive. If you don't have any faith, you don't have any pleasure. And I did a trick with myself a while ago about dopamine fast. One day of the month, I did it just once, just to learn the lesson for myself. I didn't know what to do, and I just confirmed what I was already thinking. One day, you don't do anything, you just meditate, you read my dream, you don't do anything that gives you pleasure. You watch movies, you don't watch TV, you don't read, you don't eat, you don't have sex.
You did that?
Huh? I did that one day.
Congratulations.
Almost nothing. It wasn't pure. I did speak to some people for a little bit. You must be always giving yourself that one day. Just leave yourself in zero dose. And the next day, the smallest of pleasures seem much greater than what you were.
Cleanse your palate.
Exactly. It's like cleansing yourself. And the small pleasures are pleasurable. You don't need to always put the stake higher and higher. And that is why humans need some pain, why they need some suffering, why they need sometimes to shut themselves to something. They want to feel because they need that balance. They need to cleanse themselves from all goody things to be able to appreciate the small things.
I think it's a good juxtaposition to have known suffering. I think we need suffering for slightly different reasons. What you did was cleanse your palate. It wasn't painful per se.
Yeah.
You just simply didn't overexcite. You let it come.
It's a bit painful though. It hurts more. Sounds like it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Not viewing anything.
No, you're right. Change
so
French. Yeah. So that number.
Exactly.
Yeah. I get that.
Silence hurts. Loneliness hurts.
Yeah.
Not like getting beaten up. It's obviously not the same kind of hurt. Not in that. Not nearly as much.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're saying that we need suffering. Yeah, suffering has its use. Their argument, I think, will be that the weight of suffering is so inevitable. You know, the world is prepared to wait for what's happening in it's not worth it. They may be right, but there is another thing with suffering. You need suffering in order to enter. When I see someone say, I'll go, right? But that, I have to have understood what it's like to stub my toe from. It's very interesting, I think, that when people often feel getting that they remember as being, oh, wow, that was nuts. Like in misery. Film, a guy gets his ankle smashed. Or there's another film where a guy gets a cake with cancer. There's another film where he goes to the next and viewers will empathise that. It's really making wince in a way that seeing somebody shot or blown up won't. Because getting shot or blown up is beyond their realm of empathy.
It transcends them.
Yeah, their imaginations just haven't covered that one yet. The paper cuts and the dentist,
they know
other smaller things. Yeah, that's something that they feel. So you need, in order to fill the empathy gap, to see the other person clearly, you need to be dug into their condition.
Honestly, I would never agree with what the vegans say. Because of a few simple reasons. The main reason for that is that I don't impose feelings. Without feelings, without any feelings, we are machines. We are worse than machines. Feelings are part of our mental abilities, part of our will. Because the world is with senses, and senses don't know how to. That's how we perceive it.
I think sensations and emotions are not the same thing. I think emotions,
they are very interlinked.
I think they're connected. I've got a feeling. My emotion of hope, for example, my emotion of nostalgia, humour, guilt. I don't see those as being sensations. Sensations is pain, pleasure, hot, cold.
They're either a priori or a posteriori. For example, it's after you do something, you feel guilt. Or when you are anxious for something, it's before. It's not at the moment. It's not the feeling that you get at the exact moment. You are expecting it, or even you already had it.
I've drawn a similar conclusion. You don't want to cut now. We're solving.
No, light.
So I didn't know you were filming. No. This is the interesting bit. Hold it. Okay, yeah. Because I think what happens is I'm going to get light onto this thing because I'm really impressed that you've drawn the same conclusion that I've had.
If you think enough about things, you will discover some conclusions that might be.
We're on an interesting. We got into Freud. Very good discussion.
When you were talking about math,
yeah, we changed the subject of the Chinese.
We've done Freud. We've done. Okay. So now I'm pitching. We both kind of agree that emotion is already important. Then you've mentioned that everything is sensation. I'm pointing out that I think a lot of my emotions, the ones I'm attached to, that are interesting, like hope, guilt, beauty, humour, nostalgia, are not just sensations. Although they're connected to sensations, they are not. He's very impressed by because I'd already drawn this as a conclusion and I'm now impressed myself.
I just changed the vibe.
Which is he went, yeah, the complex emotion, a lot of people probably not, which is the more complex emotion of ones which extend to or their references to the past. I buy that. So now, I think this is why the human, this to me comes
100 times.
I think without all they get sensation, hot cold, human beings, something happens. We could suddenly go the model of the world in our head. Yeah, we see
We're back.
I haven't been watching myself. Yeah.
See what go on. See if anything will go on in the park after dark. Yo, Billy, what you saying? Where you there, fam? Get Bob the Builder and Dave.
It's a natural following of logic.
Believe and believe. Things either are
Do you
or
believe
they're
that?
not. I don't believe in belief.
Do you believe that? What you've just said?
I don't believe in belief.
Do you believe it?
Believe in belief.
Yeah, but do you believe that? Do you believe what you've just said?
How would I believe it?
So you don't believe in what you've just said?
Yeah,
So hold on. He's just said, I don't believe in belief. So if I don't believe in the belief, I don't believe in don't believing.
I don't believe in belief. So there are things that either are or they're not. There either is a God or there isn't one. Yeah, that's what I believe. I believe that
you do believe in something.
I believe that there is one or there isn't one. And if I get new information, I would if someone proved to me irrefutably that Jesus rose from the dead or something, I would think, oh right, I hope that I'd be able to change my opinion. Like,
so what would you consider to be irrefutable proof?
I don't know.
Now, do you, on second, do you not think that that is an appropriate question upon which to begin a true investigation? What counts as appropriate evidence to believe in the resurrection?
Yeah, I mean, I think...
Right, so don't you think that you should first answer the question to yourself, and I invite anyone else to believe in the resurrection to ask this question of themselves, what do you to be necessary proof? That's a question that you need to answer for yourself. Because I would say to you this.
Well, I don't need to answer that any more than these. I need to answer whatever the area's Muslims say. They can say the same thing. Oh, there's Trinity. Is there three? Is there not three? Oh, yeah. Is there Jesus?
Three gods,
it's like,
one God, all that.
Well, he believes this. These Muslims believe that.
Please notice.
Believe anything.
Please notice that quite independently of any provocation from myself.
Yes.
He has just testified that the Dawah team go around attacking the Trinity. And yet,
no, he's not testified. I saw you arguing with him on video, but I'm not testifying.
And so,
I saw you arguing with him.
And so,
it's interesting.
They come to us saying, "Oh, you only attack Islam," but that's what they're doing around the park right now.
Always ask, that's the first question they ask Christians.
Of course they go.
So now let me ask you this question. Okay, you've got to ask yourself. Would you agree with me that the crucifixion, resurrection of Jesus Christ are historical questions?
Yes.
Right. So in terms of what counts as sufficient proof to believe in the resurrection,